Jamaica facing international embarrassment according to the PNP. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. According to People's National Party President Mark Golding, Jamaica is now facing international embarrassment as a result of Prime Minister Andrew Holness' involvement in a multi-million-dollar corruption investigation. Holness was allegedly linked to a conflict of interest claim involving contracts given to close friends as early as 2009 when he was Minister of Education, according to an Integrity Commission investigation report. About $21 million worth of government contracts were given to Westcom Construction Limited, a company owned by a friend of Mr. Holness. Mark Golding, leader of the opposition, is asking the Prime Minister to step aside until the probe is completed. But the JLP cabinet said that they stand behind the Prime Minister 100%. The Commission has now indicated that there will be no charges against the Prime Minister. A 31-year-old Jamaican man has been extradited to the United States to face charges of defrauding scores of senior citizens of millions of dollars in a lottery scam. Adrian Lawrence, also known as Mastermind, was apprehended all the way in Panama last month at the request of U.S. officials and extradited to the U.S. on February 8, and he's accused of committing mail and wire fraud in conjunction with a scheme to defraud American individuals in a 6-count indictment. He was presented in federal court in New York last Friday. According to Brian Pierce, a U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of New York, Lawrence and his accomplice conned numerous elderly victims of more than $5 million by willfully misleading them to believe that they had won a sweepstake and needed to pay fees to release their winnings. And this is just another bunch of greedy people who only listen to the words win millions, and they're ready to send their life savings to collect money that does not exist. Seriously, how can someone tell you to go to Walmart to buy 5 Visa debit cards and add $1,000 on each of them, then call them back and give them the number on the card and you do it? Does that make sense? Somebody please answer that. It is sad how the justice system continues to fail murdered victims in Jamaica. No matter how guilty these people are, the judges always seem to either let them walk free or give light sentence. Here we have a man who killed 2 people. He was found guilty and sentenced to 52 years, and on appeal, his sentence was reduced by 20 years. Convicted killer Joanne Alexander was found guilty of the 2011 killing of businessman Neville Hall and his wife Normaline Campbell Hall inside their Discovery Bay St. Anne home. Alexander was sentenced in 2017 to 2 terms of life imprisonment and was ordered to serve 26 years on each term before he was eligible for parole. And those sentences were to run consecutively, which means Alexander would have to serve 52 years before he could apply for parole. Last December, Alexander's attorney, Robert Fletcher, and Sanjay Simit appealed the sentence, arguing that having regard to the facts of the case and the applicable law, the trial judge erred in handing down consecutive instead of concurrent sentences. The appellate court ruled recently that while the life sentence remains on both counts, Alexander is to serve only 22 years before being eligible for parole on count 1 and 32 years before being eligible for parole on count 2. Sad indeed, they never take the victim's family into consideration. 4 guns and a quantity of ammunition were seized during a joint operation in Great Bay, St. Elizabeth yesterday morning. Participants in the operation were from the Jamaica Defense Force and the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The police busted a criminal organization that was smuggling marijuana between Haiti and Jamaica in exchange for illicit firearm and ammunition. 70 rounds of ammunition, 4 magazines, and a shotgun were also taken. 2 men have been charged with using an illegal weapon to commit a felony following an incident in Nightingale Grove District, Jacksontown in Trelawney on Sunday, January 15. Charged are 26-year-old Marvin Nelson, otherwise called Shane, and 35-year-old Gwen Nelson, otherwise called Rasta, a mechanic both of Hyde District in the parish. Reports are that about 1 p.m., a man was walking to his farm when a group of men, including Marvin and Gawain, alighted from 2 motor vehicles with firearms. The farmer then heard explosions, but he managed to escape. A targeted operation was carried out after the police were called. On February 14, Marvin and Gawain were positively identified at an identification parade and were arrested. A suspect is now being sought by the police after they were reportedly engaging in a running gunfight in Ochorea, St. Anne yesterday morning with the police. In the course of the event, 1 illegal gun was found and 1 suspect was fatally shot. The identity of the deceased man is being withheld by the police, who said he is a known violence producer. He is a person who is reporting on condition of bail for crimes previously committed. And it is said that a motor vehicle carrying the 2 suspects was signaled to stop. However, shots were fired from the vehicle, which sped off in the vicinity of the Ocho Rios Transportation Center. It is said that the police returned fire and the suspect's automobile lost control and climbed an embankment. The driver was found inside the vehicle with gunshot wounds. He was taken to Sentence Bay Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Meanwhile, an unidentified man was shot dead during a reported confrontation with the police in Old Harbor, St. Catherine, Wednesday morning. And it's reported that about 3 o'clock, the police responded to an alert that a man was seen breaking into a vehicle along Lauriston Avenue in Ainsley Lodge. On the arrival of the cops, the suspect reportedly opened fire at them. Fire was returned and he was fatally shot, and a semi-automatic pistol with several rounds was seized. The Independent Commission of Investigation is now investigating that incident. Onto sports. In their opening match of the Cup of Nations competition at the Industries Group Stadium early yesterday morning, the World Cup-bound Jamaica Reggae girls were beaten 3-0 by 7th-ranked Spain. Jamaica was competing without a number of their good players due to some of them choosing not to travel to Australia and others being late in arrival. Jamaica was basically ill-prepared for this match. They were beaten 3-0, but we hope that they'll do better in the next one. Meanwhile, Jamaica's under-17 Reggae boys drew 2-2 with Costa Rica last night to secure second place in Group C, and they are now making a trip to the CONCACAF Championship round of 16. Alex Xavier-Gooden spectacular free kick gave Jamaica the lead in the 17th minute, and Adrian Reed Jr. increased their lead in the 62nd. But in the 73rd minute, Gooden was later dismissed for his second cautionable offense by picking up a red card. And after late goals in the 78th and the 87th minute, Costa Rica came back to split the points. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Jamaica time, Jamaica will play host Guatemala in the round of 16, and also in the round of 16 are Cuba, Panama, Costa Rica, Mexico, Canada, Nicaragua, Trinidad, and the United States. And if you missed the news on this radio station, please go to YouTube and type in Jamaican Undiluted News. Listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. That's news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.